Is it recording? Okay. Alright, what up, everybody, or no one? It could be like no one, or that one friend that's listening to this. My name is Salty Chippy, and I'm here talking about random bullshit. You know. Now, for today's topic, yeah, let me start with a preface, or preface, or whatever, I don't know, like a little thing. So I had a friend that listens to this apparently. You know who you are, you fucking guy. You fucking squog. Alright? He told me that my videos apparently were a bit low. Or a lot low, I don't know. And I've raised the volume up by 200%. Now if this isn't as loud as it's gonna get for people to like hear properly, I'm just gonna I don't know, get like a software or whatever to boost it even more. I don't know why this shit's so low, but that's that's a failure of mine, and that's one of the topics for today. And then another thing he told me was, it's been a while since I uploaded a video like this. It's been like 20 days or something. I don't know, I didn't check. It's been a long while, and that's the other topic for today, or technically the first. I don't know why I talked about the second thing first and then the first thing second, but inconsistency, you know? So let's begin with inconsistency. So by default, or whatever, you could already tell, like, oh man, it's been like 20 days from my last upload, and that's a thing I struggle with a lot. I think a lot of people also just struggle with it, just trying to do a thing and just being consistent, or doing it as part of a routine. And that's probably the hardest thing I think everyone struggles with, or most people, me especially, where there should be scale. And by scale, I mean effort should be scaled with reward, right? And to do things consistently, you have to start out small. When you start out small, it has to be consistently small. And with that, the reward doesn't come big at all, if you know what I mean. You do a thing every day, little by little. And because you have to do it every day, and every day it's a little bit, unless you're like a prodigy that can do a lot of stuff in one day, the reward is not that big. And if the reward isn't that big, why do it? I think most people want to do stuff and be instantly rewarded. You have to do stuff like practicing math problems, right? Every day you grind in and out, the same problem. You grind, you practice, and then, hey, you fucked up again, so you keep practicing, And it's like, hey, 2 hours on one specific topic of pure grinding. You do the same problem the next day, and then you fail again. Theoretically, you practice enough, you shouldn't fail. You should be rewarded with, you practice it enough, it should be in your brain forever. But that's not how it works. Or that's not how it works for normal people, I guess. You know? For normal people, we don't have photographic memory. We don't have brains that process things as fast, and we have to do things over and over and over and over again, and that's sort of like hell. People start off strong, and it's like you keep doing it, and then it feels like no real reward is presented to you. And I think that's why people like stop being consistent. You do a thing enough, and it's like you don't get anything for it. You just get sort of misery for it. Like for me personally, like the math thing, as I talked about before, or just talked about, like you grind and you grind and you grind and you grind, and then it's like things only get harder. It's like you're consistent like early on, and things only get harder. So it's like, why bother to try if things are getting harder? Like it's already like pretty bad to begin with. And for things you don't like also. So it's like, for if you like doing a thing, then consistency should be easy because you like doing it. But if for things that you don't like for me, like math or whatever, it's like inherently like I don't know. I struggled with it, and it's like I could do it, but it's like the thought of like doing it over and over again for basic stuff or whatever, and then moving on to harder stuff. It's just like seeing the progression. Like it's already bad in the beginning, and then you see the progression. Like you could see what comes next, and then you're like, man, I struggled and worked hard for like the early part, and then you're telling me the next part's even more hard. Like I don't know. I guess one thing to do about that, I don't even know if I should present a solution because I'm still struggling with this, but it's like, I don't know, it's just, you sort of just deal with it. You either deal with it or you learn to like it. I don't know, like, I think just like for people like me, misery is like a part of like working or doing stuff. So it's like you just have to keep doing it in spite of the pain and the misery, and it could be anything. Honestly, for me, it was just math was just an example, because like in school, like I would go crazy doing like 4 or 5 or 6 hours every day of like grinding of like one subject and then another math subject. And it's like, man, I don't know, it's just a struggle. But I don't know. To me, it's like if I liked doing a thing, I think it'd be easier. Or just like learning to make things fun. I think also like what everyone does or doesn't do is they don't try to make things miserable to be fun. They don't find ways to make it fun. They don't find ways to reward themselves. They just sort of like do a thing and then just suffer for it at the end. There's no reward for it. Like I think if you like do something like I don't know, like now I try to exercise every day. I mean I used to do it before but then I stopped and now I'm doing it again. And I just like I wake up, I exercise, and then I run or exercise depending on how my ankles feel. Because sometimes my ankles like hurt after like running. So the next day I just like normally exercise. Like I used to do regular calisthenics or try to. And after that, I just take a shower and just drink like milk or chocolate milk as like a little reward. It's like you do a hard thing, and at the end, you give yourself a little like a boost, a little reward or something. I think people should do that more. Or finding things rewarding in itself. Like also, I'm like learning Japanese, so it's like I go on VR chat, just talking to random people, and it's like I I think of it like I don't know if I'm meeting cool new people and just being like, okay, I met this new person, and that's the reward in itself. Like that's cool. I think I think I used like a bit too much there. I don't know. I mean also another thing is just realizing or having self awareness about doing stuff. You know, which I guess would segue into failure. Like right there, I think I said like a bit too many times, but I realized it. And it is what it is. I don't know. I think it's like human to fail, but when you fail too many times, I don't know. It kind of sucks a lot. I mean, for me, it's like like doing stuff for the first time is like I will fail. It's not like I'm the type of person to pick something completely new and then it's like I instantly get it. My brain doesn't work like that. Some people they get to pick up stuff and they instantly do it, but that's not for me, or I can't do that. But I don't know. For me, that's like I don't know. Failure is just like an inherent component to myself. It's like I said like again. I mean, there you go. I guess doing stuff and failing. I don't know. Like, I remember I worked as a busboy like when I was 21. Holy shit, I need to fucking get like executed for saying that too many times. Whatever. I was a busboy back in the day or whatever, right? I couldn't do basic stuff, I guess you could say, or my parents really didn't really teach me or like make me do like stuff like I don't know, just brooming, like regular brooming or whatever. It was like a weird way of brooming, like fucking immigrant way of brooming and stuff, just on the floor with your hands and stuff. So like, I didn't know how to actually broom. I didn't know how to like do stuff, whatever, basic tasks, cleaning, whatever, you know. I went to work as my like first, second, or third shift, and I remember my manager straight up told me, was like, "Oh man, you're fucking weird. Like you can't do basic stuff." And I think she told someone else, like, I think she told like a friend of mine that got me the job to be a busboy there, that like, oh, he's I don't know, like I'm a moron or something. And then I don't know, I got better. I like realized like I am like fucking stupid, like I should be doing better and stuff. And then I don't know, like I basically failed upward to the point of like being a good employee, I guess, where it's like all the employee, like the waiters, some of the cooks, the dishwashers, and managers like liked me. I said like twice, like liked me. Oh my god, whatever. But yeah, it's, I don't know. For me, like failures. Holy shit. I mean, there you go. Just me getting tilted or pissed about using that word over and over again. I notice it and I can't help myself. It is what it is. Basically, okay, what I was trying to say is I fail upward. I begin doing something, I suck at it, and then I get better at it. But for me, because I suck at something, it starts out as a struggle, and I burn a lot of willpower because of that. So it's like, okay, you failed in the beginning, and then if there's like consistent failure, the it I don't know, it kills a lot of your like will and brain. So for me, math, doing that bus work, busboy work, talking to people. I also did a lot of cringe stuff. Like I failed so many times, and in I don't know. In the beginning, okay, I failed. I suck. I know this, right? But if I practice something and I fail, holy shit, that's like the most horrible feeling, I think. I also take a shot every time I say like in this video. For example, I play a fighting game, or I play fighting games, right? And fighting games, you drill and you drill and you drill and you drill combos, you drill setups, you drill whatever. For me, if I play a fighting game and I can't adapt or I can't take what I did in practice into a real match, I get fucking tilted. I get tilted at myself, and if someone plays something easier, I also get tilted at them, which is like that's my fault for not adapting. And whether they play something easier or harder, I shouldn't think about that. I should just be like, okay, they're playing something easy. It is what it is. But that's one example. Fighting games, math, cleaning, being a normal person and stuff, like all of that. Just the consistent failure of whether you practice, whether you did a thing, whether you try to mend the failures. Like it's so bad. That feeling. I don't know, a solution to that. I can't really think of one besides just saying it is what it is. You just gotta keep suffering until you get it right, I guess. Not much else to it. I like either you fail or you succeed. It's that binary. So I guess in that regard, you fail until you succeed about doing anything. I don't know. This channel, I guess, is that representation of inconsistency and failure, I guess. Like, I can't edit. I can't really do much. Maybe my way of talking with my nasally voice and me using that word a lot is will probably annoy people and stuff, you know. And I'm trying to remedy it, but you know, I have to fuck up before I succeed. Making things perfect in both regard of failure and inconsistency, like being perfect, like trying to be perfect is also probably the biggest thing why people or me like fail and are inconsistent. You try to be perfect and the burden of being perfect like fucks you up so much that you can't do the thing and you're paralyzed, and the fear of doing your best because you want to be perfect and you fail is also sucks. So there's the effort of being perfect, the the burden of being consistently perfect, and the burden of not fucking up, you know. So that's why I'm not editing all these like mistakes and stuff or whatever. I just talk, I ramble, whatever, in probably not a good way. This is probably a really incoherent video, or all my other videos are also incoherent. But for me, honestly, doing doing things like this is better than doing nothing, I guess, because it's better to do something than nothing, you know. Or that's what I think. I'd rather have a piece of shit out and it exists than like nothing at all. I don't know. Maybe I said stuff that made sense or it relates to people. Maybe I gave better solutions. Not better solutions. I just gave solutions maybe that worked, but I don't know. I guess I'll summarize like for inconsistency, just accept the small steps and accept the small rewards. For failure and inconsistency, just accept the pain of failing. And inconsistency itself is a failure of just not doing a thing, you know. You can't always do a thing and you can't always succeed. And when you don't, it is what it is. Failing and having flaws is being human, and I guess it is what it is. You just accept that. Not everyone's perfect and not everyone can do things the right way, whether it's the first time or whether it's 100th time. You know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Other than that, I don't know what more to say. I guess see you later.